Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. Our special guest today is Ashish Patel, who is currently a senior principal architect at Oracle, where he leads the AI strategy and architecture and design for AI and machine learning data science products and services, which aligns with Oracle Cloud Application and Oracle Enterprise. And before that, he worked as an AI solution architect at IBM, where he collaborated with IBM and AWS to design and build complex enterprise solution with the foundation of Red Hat, OpenShift, AWS infrastructure, and IBM software technology. Welcome, Ashish, and thanks for joining us today. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, and as you know, our session today will be about the role of AI or the role of generative AI or AI architect in the or in building AI agents and generative systems. And it will be a little bit more conversational. So I will ask some questions, and Ashish will reply, and of course he can add more points, and also we can take questions from our audience. So if you have any question, just like put them in the chat here, and we will go through them also at the end of the session.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, so let's start. Like just our our intro question is, how do you define the role of generative AI architect today, especially in the context of building agentic and generative systems? And how do you think this role has evolved in the latest 2 years?
Yes, thank you. So basically, generative AI. So I am working in this domain, especially in the AI, since last 12 years. And also I work as a researcher. I seen this industry as a constantly evolving. So I can say that I seen this generative AI, but not core generative AI. I can say basically natural language processing, NLP, which is a core domain. So I've seen this industry since like I explored all the branches, like as I wrote a book on time series analytics. I have expertise in machine learning, deep learning, as well as all the branches of machine learning, which is unsupervised, supervised, reinforcement. Even I worked, I reviewed the book on that with the packet. So basically, I can say that like AI is very vast, right? First of all, let's talk about AI is very vast. But when it's come to framing the business problem, okay, every AI engineer is very good with the technology and everything. But AI engineer is missing the core part, which is like the infrastructure technology that we have to understand. What would be the cost if we are just running any AI model? How we can frame any business problem, and if we are directly just doing into the implementation, how it costs to us, what kind of infrastructure we needed, and what if this will need a scale at the large level, right? So these are all the questions come into the mind when we are talking about the generative AI system, right? Because nowadays, let's say the date, which is a 13 November 2022, ChatGPT has killed it, right? Their first application, which is known as ChatGPT, as we all know that ChatGPT 3.5 model was launched, and worldwide we can see that like people is constantly moving, and within a 5 hours or 10 hours, they completed 1 million users. But the level they have set up that system designs, right, which is caters a large number of the audience, which is the main person, right? So come to the question, like generative AI is nowadays is not only like you can just plug and play the Python code, implement the APIs, just follow the follow the some code based libraries. This is not a, this is just a, we can say that, and even I am not telling that this is a AI engineer. This is an integration AI engineers, right? AI engineers should work from the code. Like what would be the business problem? What would be the data? Because ultimately data is everything, right? Not a model is, because ultimately we are feeding the data to the model. So as a AI engineer, we have to always keep in mind everything from starting from the business problem. We have to understand the client business perspective, what the technology is, how it works. Once you understand the business problem and the technology, then and then you can apply like, okay, here this part we can implement and automate that. Okay. And then after you can understand, okay, if I can design this system, how much it cost me. what kind of infrastructure I needed, and then things will be started. So in terms of it Gen AI, in terms of agentic AI, or in terms of AI agent, or in terms of MCP server, everything need a proper architectural blueprint which works well.
Okay, great. So when designing AI agent or agentic workflows and generative system, uh, what are the steps you take, and what do you think the most critical architectural decisions that you can make or break a project like try to walk us through designing an generative AI system or agentic AI system for enterprise, because like for demo everyone can do it somehow,
Yes, yes, yes,
but yeah, for enterprise I think this is like the missing point, or the point that not all of us
yes,
get exposed to. And what do you think like the most critical decisions that you can make to make this project successful, or this project might fail
yes.
if you take certain decisions?
Yes. So recently, I found one survey which is on Gartner. So Gartner has published that like around all the investment, right? All the investment in generative AI, only 15% project is getting success or implemented at the large scale, and all the remaining 85% project is not getting success. This is because the lack of knowledge of infrastructure technology, lack of knowledge of the business application understanding. Because AI is not something which is a traditional software cycle. Okay, AI process you have to iterate the process a lot of time as a enterprise perspective as well. Okay, because what happened? Let's say we are talking about foundational models, LLM. Okay, so LLM is a generalized model. We can say that like whatever the LLM available on Hugging Face or whatever LLM you are utilize from the internet. They are basically, we can say that is generalized language model, right? Generalized means it is trained on the world's largest database. Like we can say that Wikipedia, internet data, right? And or we can say that like for the code data, so like Stack Overflow, something which is available on internet, right? Open source available data. But when it comes to any enterprise, right? For any enterprise, it should be very difficult to train their data on that model, because there is a basically three things come. Three is challenging problem is come. One is hallucination. Right. Second is a data leakage problem. Is what if the data is going outside? So it is breaching. Data breaching is a big issue, right? So privacy preservation rule is breaking. That's why you act and Californian Act is not allowing sometimes some policies, and there then every day we are also seeing that some cases was happening on OpenAI. So yeah, data protection law we have to keep in mind when we are just dealing with any kind of the enterprise product, right? So this is a big things. So one normal AI engineer, let's say I'm AI agent engineer. Okay, so I'm only think about how I can implement AI agent with the code GPU needed. I call the API and I will just integrate the system, and I will just provide the one Docker system as a microservice architecture, and it will integrate it in enterprise and then it work. But this is not work this way. Okay, first of all we have to understand like okay where you want to integrate. Okay, so let's say there is there is one enterprise system, just supply chain management, or we can say inventory management system. Okay, let's say you want to integrate any AI system there, or healthcare, any business ARP you can take. And now you want to implement AI. So first of all, you have to think from the scratch. You have to first of all make a strategic alignment. We have to make a strategic alignment is like something like, let's say you are ensuring any AI solution which is aligned to your business objective. It's a deliver so, and also we have to measure the deliverables values, like how it measure the deliverables. So this is the first point when we have to design any agentic AI system, or any generative or any AI system, right? As a generative AI architect or any AI architect, this is the first task. You have to design strategic alignment toward the business values, right? So whatever the AI system we can design, that is fulfill the objective of that. Okay, and second thing is we have to measure the deliverable, measurable KPIs, right? We do not have to only focus on input, okay, what we will give and what it is giving the output. We have to focus on, first of all, which kind of the data we are providing and which kind of the output we are trying to frame from that. Okay, so that has come from the business layer, which is a totally the different. So there you need a perspective of business owner, you need a perspective of business person, right? Subject matter expert. You need a perspective of the let's say technical architect as well, software technical architect as well. You need a perspective of your database team as well, because also you need to understand the data. So database engineer also help you to understand, like, okay, we have this kind. So there are, you have to work with the product owners, product managers. Everyone will help you at come at that stage. So generative AI architect is a totally different than a generative AI engineer, because generative AI architect have to work with all people, not only as an individual role. Okay. Now, second point which I want to bring is system design. System design is a fundamental component. Either you are a software engineer or you are AI engineer. System design is most critical component when you are working as architecture, right? Because what happened before developing, you have to decide everything. Right. Let's say a company have a ERP. Obviously, we have to crafting the scalable solution. It should be modular. It should be aligned with some best architectural practices, right? As like world leading standard is following. So either it should be microservice, it should be monolithic, whatever the company is following, or it should be aligned basis on the ERP system design. Right. So you have to frame your AI problem or design architecture in terms of that ERP system was designed, right? So your architectural like whatever the system your AI engineer would be designed, it should be easily integrated and work smoothly, and it should be also scalable as well at the same time, right? So these all things when you are just crafting, and you have to follow the system design patterns. You have to follow the high level design, low level design, whatever the component we can integrate with it, right? Right. So components are, we can follow the, let's say you can follow the cloud practices, you can follow the local, let's say some companies want that monolithic architecture because of traditional, their software are so old and still they want to follow that due to the security and compliances. Sometimes people are, so we have to design the AI system that way. So in that context, we have to scale the vertical scaling, right? So system design is one of the components. Right. And yeah, when come to the system design, you have to expert or you have to work with a core system design component. Sometimes you need a help of IT infrastructure engineer. Sometimes you need a help of a product engineer. Also with the system design, you have to keep in mind that what cost would be of the system, then how much it costs. You have to see, you have to design the blueprint, you have to discuss with the business, right? There are a lot of things you have to, then you have to create the proposal, you have to send this proposal to the business team. They will approve the budget for you, like, okay, because every company has some budget to invest in any AI related projects, right? So 90% budget is coming to the system design because of that cost and everything. Okay, 10% is like AI budget and everything. Okay, so this is basically the big, we can say that it's a big playground where on day-to-day practices, or every company have a different, there is a chance every company have a different architectural pattern. Nowadays, every company following the microservice, which is a very advanced and advanced, like every service work as isolated. Okay. And fourth point is ethical oversight. Ethical oversight is like, sorry, third point is ethical oversight. Like whatever you are implementing, okay, that is come under the compliances of the government. You have to maintain, ensure it in like, okay, whatever the you have designed, it is come under the fair practices. Okay, fair practices is basically like, oh, there should not be the bias in the data which you are trying to train. Also, you have to create a transparent AI system, like whatever the answer your system, AI system is giving, you have to explain that how it is come with this answer. Okay. So let's say I'm trying to search on anything on ChatGPT. ChatGPT come with references. Okay. On the end of the answer, they are providing some sources, right? So I took the sources for this. So these are known as the references, or you can say transparency and accountability. Like, okay, so that's why for accountability, it's very difficult. But yeah, most of the company who are providing the answers, which is coming from the internet. So this accountability is coming from the article, some articles which is referencing that are okay. Let's say you search something and ChatGPT is coming from the some we can say that like Gartner articles, or let's say Accenture, or any organization, consultant company. So they are accountable for the content who are providing. So these way also the cross accounting and ethical oversights we have to keep in mind when you are just designing end-to-end AI system, right? So whatever the answer providing by you, that should be also tracked, and governance, right? AI governance is also needed. AI governance is a core part where basically you have to keep in mind what data you are passing, what answer AI system will bring, and you have to also monitor that. That's why LLM observability, LLM ops come into the picture, right? So AI agent role is not only like you have to code everything, you have to design end to end. So that's why LLM ops is also like one of the core branch. And also fifth point is a cross-discipline collaboration. Cross-discipline is like you have to working with a data scientist. So let's say as an architecture, you have a team of data scientists as well. You have to working with them. Also, one major role is data engineering pipeline you have to maintain. So data engineers also come. Business stakeholders will also come into the picture. So these are the integrations, right? So generative AI engineer is not a small role, because I am working in generative AI architect as a, since last four year. So I know that like this is a big responsibility as a AI engineer.
Yeah, thank you. So I think one of the rules of the architect is to choose the tools and the ecosystem that they will use to build the generative AI system or the agentic AI workflows. What do you think currently of the available? Because there is a lot of frameworks, but I don't think all of them are production compatible or are can be
Hmm.
used in production, especially
Hmm.
especially like when you come to agents. So I think maybe, for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
Crew
Hmm.
AI is very good for demo, but it's not good for production. I think LangGraph is more production compatible. So what do you think? How do you choose like the right framework and the right tools? And what do you think currently is, from the available frameworks and tools that are used in building enterprise application or enterprise projects?
Okay. So I want to bring over here is like every product, right? Every product contain a maturity model. Right. Productive, like, so let's say any branch is not getting mature overnight. Okay. So agentic AI is in their initial phase. Still, there are a lot of BS contents are coming on LinkedIn. Okay, like this is, yeah, they are claiming like you can utilize this, but still there are a lot of gaps. When you are just working out, you will find a lot of gaps. Okay, as a real AI, as a real integrator, when you are just dealing with a real product, you can see that there are a lot of complexities coming while working with. Okay, so I want to bring over here is like a product life cycle. Okay, so let's say you when you have started building some product. So here product is just imagine agentic AI as a product. Okay, so agentic AI is a new branch, right? So how agentic AI come over the picture? So first of all, when LLM model was coming, we can see that like we can interact chatbot and nothing extra data we found. Okay, we are just directly interact with the chatbot and it is giving us the answer whatever it was trained on. Okay, then after we found the need is like what if there is a problem? What if we have to add the external data? So when we want to add external data, RAG come into the picture, retrieve augmented generation, and we have seen that a lot of new data is come. We have seen that vector DB technology was evolved on that time, right? And we found the new vector, new kind of databases coming into the picture. And from that vector DB, we see that like, okay, there are other use cases also coming. You can do the image similarity search. You can also generate tags from the image to tags. You can also generate the audio from that. So embedding models is also one of the fundamental technology which help to evolve these LLM or generative AI domain, right? Where we see that like everything is converted into the number. Okay. So here, third thing is come into the picture is like, okay, RAG is there. External data we have feed these in the LLM. But what if our LLM can work for us? It can take actions, right? So action step was missing in retrieve augmented generation as well, right? Then action for action, we evolve with a AI agent system, right? We have integrated tools for that. And that tools is work for us, like whatever the data we are passing and whatever the step we want to take from the particular action, then it evolve. Then AI agent technology was evolved so faster, right? But still there we found that like agentic, then Anthropic AI also found something new is like, okay, there is a gap to work with AI agent and their tools, API services, right? We called it. So still we found that like, okay, there is a latency is created or there are a lot of things. So we need a standard protocol, right? Communication protocol between the AI agent and tools. Then also MCPs come into the picture because and there is a difference between MCP and normal APIs. Like MCP provides a real time smooth communication with the AI systems. There are also other comes A2A, and so these all are the evolving tech right now, right? We have seen that like this is not available in all the mature AI agent frameworks, right? Also, Google have their own own ADK, right? Agentic development key. Then OpenAI has their own, CrewAI has their own, and then Microsoft has their own AutoGen. Then there are a lot of frameworks. Okay, Agno is there, which is one of the come with a dense features. Also, there are a lot of wide variety of the picture, and also we can see that same these AI agent technologies not evolve only with these all the frameworks in only Python. It is also evolved with Node.js as well. So let someone who working in a Node.js or full stack development, they can directly integrate with the API based framework development. Right? So integration is very easy nowadays, but designing the entire architecture, what thing you needed. Let's say you want to choose API or you have to deploy your on-premise model, LLM model, right? You have to use a DeepSeek, you have to use OpenAI. That is also you have to choose basis on your business problem. So here I'm talking about the evolving cycle. So AI agent, right? So every product contains the four phases, right? First is like a evolving phase, right? Learning phase, we can say that, right? So like a new technology just evolve, like a plant is we are just putting the seeds on the land and it is just come out. Then second phase is like a growth phase. Okay, in growth phase we can see that there are a lot of frameworks coming out. In third phase is it is we called it a mature technology. So nowadays we can say that machine learning and deep learning are mature technologies of AI. Right, but generative AI is not that much. Obviously, their integration, everything is on, but still that is not that much mature. Okay, because still we are facing a lot of challenges which is coming to the real world, and there are a lot of human suffer which that right. So for that purpose, we have to wait for that. So AI agent is still in the evolving phase. Evolving is like it is in growth phase, right? Technology is already evolved, but it is in growth phase. So in growth phase, we see that every day there are a lot of new things is coming. So there is a no right and wrong, but as my experience, I feel that like Crew AI is one of the products and ready framework, which I recommend to use everyone because it's easy to use. But then after another things is coming to the picture, Crew AI AutoGen, and third is I am recommending Google ADK toolkit. Okay, which is much more mature. Also, we can also go for a small agent as well. Small agent Hugging Face, which is also very good, easy to integrate and easy to use, right? Uh, but as perspective of AI engineer, I can also bring into the picture is that these are come under the two way. Agentic AI system is come under the two way. One is controllable AI agent workflow and uncontrollable, because when you just deal with like let's say there are not a lot of example available on internet, okay, and you want to control the response of AI agent, you can't with some framework, but at some framework you can control. So on control framework, on the perspective of control framework, I am recommending mostly the LangGraph, which is one of the popular, and also I'm also recommending Llama Index. Llama Index is also working a great way. So because these are the core frameworks which have started generative AI very vastly, and they have a wide variety of support. Okay, so like whatever application you are trying to design, you have to go for production level development. You can go for this because these are come with a lot of new updates. Okay, but yeah, most mature framework we can say that like a Langra for the
Yeah, I
yes,
think I
this
think we
is
missed you for 5 seconds or something, but now you're still, yeah. Yeah, thank you for your answer. Uh, yeah, I have another question also. It's somehow related to responsibility and so as you design the agentic system or the generative AI system, how do you balance between innovation and responsibility to make sure that the system is trustable and explainable and responsible? And this, I think, is very important when you are building something for enterprise. Um, yeah, so what steps do you do? And
So
yeah.
yeah, so when we just design, we have to, so first of all design part and then innovation, I will tell you. So on design part, when you are designing, you have to think and you have to check, because what any company who are investing in AI, they always want to see the capabilities. Okay. So first of all, whatever you are designing, let's say you choose some tools, you have to choose some infrastructure or whatever the platform you choose, right? Let's say you choose a like a GPU based your on-premise models, or you choose a cloud-based model, Anthropic, or whatever the model you choose. Before applying anything, you have to go for each and every policies of AI model. If you are using this AI model, what kind of implications is come? What is that token prices? Like which kind of the application you are using this AI model? Which kind of prompt is working? Which kind of input prompt this model was designed for? Okay, because every model is designed with some their in messaging language. Okay, that's why sometimes we see that like okay, their writing are like response is different with the same prompt. Okay, so there are a lot of things you have to play around. Okay, so once you play around, you can understand. Okay, this things is happening. Okay, so how this model is responding, because just taking a model and integrate, that is not like a right solution. You have to play around it. You have to showcase the result to the your management. You have to track everything. You have to analyze. You have to prepare the test cases for that. If we are just providing this kind of response, because from the user perspective, user enter anything in LLM, okay, or in models. Okay. So on that perspective, we always have to think like, okay, if a user is entering any kind of response, how we can restrict that? Okay, so restriction part also you have to come into the picture. So let's say user asking anything and your LLM model, obviously whatever you ask, LLM model will give the response. So you have to also control the response of your LLM model. How you can control? So without prompt, you can't control the LLM response even. Okay, so for that, and also whatever the data you are integrating, for that data, you have to maintain the data governance. You have to maintain like okay, which kind of the document is going into, and that data is also that data is also designed and approved by your data privacy policy by the company. Okay, or also let's say that companies come under the compliance whatever the country they have, right? So every company has different compliance for the data privacy policies, right? So that also keep into the mind when you are just as a designing a AI architect. Also, you have to come with the compliance like HIPAA compliance for the healthcare. Then GDPR is a general data privacy laws, right? In USA, even India, there is a DPDP law is there for data privacy act for, right. So every company have to keep in mind there are AI is not only like a Python developer work, right? AI is a very like a task intensive and innovative work. Okay, and these tasks or these work designed by experienced AI engineer, because they have experience of the past, what kind of challenges they have faced. Actually, during my experiences of my old days, when I just deal with traditional machine learning technology, we integrate all things with the database. We are just fetching the data from database. But yeah, that also restricted. So let's say you are designing any system in AWS kind of services, right? As a so inside that services, you are defining different role. As a Gen AI engineer, I can tell that like I need a one AI one data engineer who can restrict the response, who can just ETL the process for me, and just dump that data into my data lake. And then I need a one data scientist who can fetch the data from there. Also, it can do the pre-processing basis on their need. Or also, data scientists can decide, okay, which kind of the data annotation we needed. So for data annotation, sometime we need an expert, or sometime data engineer can also do that. Okay. But yeah, subject matter expert is coming to the picture. Also, there is a one role data steward, which is can also maintain the rapport between the data governance and data policies, right? So there are a lot of data roles is also coming. Data architect also helping in this domain. right? To design the data policy for particular your enterprise AI system. So data layer. So here we can see that like layer architecture works well in AI system. Right, as a Gen AI engineer, you have to follow layer architecture because you are design only the one AI module, not a whole enterprise architecture for particular ERP system, right? So because there are a lot of people who are confusing on like, okay, what is system architect, what is enterprise architect, right? So every architecture contain a different way to design, right? So let's say you are designing any module, so module architect is something different one. Right. So AI here work as a one separate stream, right, for particular microservice architecture. So you have to design on that way. You have to also keep in mind what input is coming, you are connecting where, everything. And also you have to define the security layer as well. Security layer is the most important because what happen, whatever you are passing and what, let's say there is a something something risky is come into that security breach is cost you a lot. Right, recently we seen that like 16 billion ID password is come out. So breaches are coming every day. But how you can secure that, that is your responsibility because as a AI engineer, you are not responsible for only designing that code and just things was over. You have to responsible person to design end-to-end system and also you always have to constant provide the support because let's say you have designed the system, you have to deploy in the scalable way. You have to work with a deployment team, DevOps team. You need a DevOps team. So this is not only the task of one person. When you are become an architect, you have to deal with a lot of experts. You have to also deal with, so let's say in product design, you also deal with a product engineer as well. You have to design, you deal with a product manager as well. Right. So this is come all into the picture when we are talking about design perspective. Innovation perspective, there is a so every architect should update themselves. Every day you have to explore the research paper, you have to explore the new things which is coming into the market. And let's say you are facing some problems, or let's say I'm working for one healthcare product. Okay. The new model is coming, and obviously these are very good and it's open source and I can easily integrate. Right. Or also, I can see that like, okay, if I can fine tune on my data, if it cost me very easily, I can also reduce the overload of the databases and some other things. So there are a lot of chances basis on the demand of the client or basis on the demand of the product manager or basis on the demand of the product design. You can decide like which module is cool, which innovation will help you out. So yeah, every day you have to update yourself as an architect. Okay, so this is also your role, core responsibility. Also, you have to every day read that different architecture which was designed on internet because there is a no free hunch rule in the architect design as well, right? Whatever you can design, you have to try, taste. Okay, this is also like designing architect is also the kind of reinforcement learning. You will design, you will reward it, or you will penalize, right? So the penalty will also come with that. Like there is a fault feedback you can take, and you can design again. So these are the basically the mature way you can deal with. But yeah, architect is to work with a lot of diversified brains
Mm,
like DevOps, software engineers, data architects, product owners, product managers. Also, you have to deal with the business people as well,
mm,
like business analytics and all. So yeah, this is the both answer from the design and innovation perspective.
mm, yeah, it sounds very interesting. Yeah, so there is a question came to my mind now. I think like to be an architect, you need to have like at least long experience in AI, but you need to have also background in software and to be able to work with customers, work with business teams, and also to work with different technical
Yes,
teams. Yeah, so yeah, what do you think like the skills and mindset the architect should
Gen AI
have?
engineer needed.
Yeah, to be able to be successful, especially in this very evolving field of AI and generative
Yes,
AI. Yeah, because it's
this
actually
is very
changing
good
like
question.
yeah on a weekly basis or even sometimes in a daily basis. So
Hmm. So there is a need. There is a lot of need of Gen AI architect in this domain, right? We need millions of engineers in a Gen AI domain, right? Because uh, big companies found that, like a lot of big companies, like you can say big giants and everyone, found that there is a wide gap between the AI engineers and the software engineers. They are not sync up and product. So one we see that like the famous sentence is like 75 or 70% product is getting failed when into when these AI engineers or any AI system get into the production because AI engineers and like a gap of architectural knowledge is very big. And due to that architect, this role was evolved. Okay, I read this role in a, but yeah, I got a chance to work with a lot of like a researcher, and so I know this role since my research days. Like architecting, the thing is very important, and I'm designing architect since long, around a 10-year back. So whatever the system I can work on, first I will design the blueprint and then I got an interest in this domain. So by the time I understand that like okay, there is a very big importance of the system design. So as an architect, nowadays there is a three type of the roles is come into the internet, right? In any companies. First is like associate AI architect. Associate is like very beginner. They can work with a modular architecture and they can design and also they can do the code as well. So this is a combined line. Okay. Combine is like they can work combinedly. Okay. Then other thing is come into the picture is like a intermediate. So let's say someone have a 3 to 5 year of experience in AI, or they have a background, or they have a very good knowledge of system design as well. They have some background of the DevOps as well. They have some background of software engineering as well. Not that much, but yeah, he know that like how SDLC work. Okay, so he can also works well on this domain. But yeah, he also had very vast knowledge of AI technology because ultimately AI technologies come with a responsibility. So whatever the technology you are working on or you are designing, you are responsible for. So you have to design in the that way that you can also track the responsible AI system, right? So you have to expert in responsible AI. So let's say your 3 to 5 year of AI engineering experience also includes the competencies of responsible AI, explainable AI, and also you have to work of MLOps. So because MLOps is a kind of the core part of the system design. If you know the MLOps, you can design the system like agent architecture very easily, right? So that's why LLM ops is also evolved. So that's why agent ops is also come into the picture. Right, you can just give any name agent ops, LLM ops, but in the background, same monitoring services there, deployment services there, also like you have to select the proper infrastructure cloud technologies whatever you are preferring basis on the company need, basis on the like let's say your company is very small, so you can directly go for cloud services which works well. And also I will tell you one more thing is like there is a higher level role which is called a senior principal AI architect, or you can say that uh, senior AI architect. So intermediate is called you can senior AI architect or AI architect you can say. So there is a we can split into the associate, then AI architect, then senior AI architect, then principal AI architect. Or you can say lead also come into the picture. Some companies have, but directly principal and then senior principal. So
Okay.
yeah, you need a wide way of competencies. So I will list out over here as a AI architect, you need a understanding of business knowledge, which is a core competence. It's like you have a good communication, you have good soft skills, you have a knowledge of you can like you have to develop the skills so you can understand any business knowledge very easily. Second skill is from the perspective of the data engineering. You have to very good in the data engineering. So let's say you are good in the SQL, you are good in the NoSQL, you are also good with the data mart, data engineering stuff is like data warehouse, analytics. You have to understand this layer as well as AI engineer. Third thing is you have a good knowledge of system design, or you can say that like software architect knowledge. Right, software architecting. So let's say when I tell you something like, okay, I have a data, something like that. So you can directly imagine a software like, okay, for this you need a NoSQL, like something like that. Then also you can, as a software architect, you can also know that like, okay, how front end design work, how back end design work, and how you can design every service as a separate service. Okay, which database to choose, which not to choose, which kind of security system you have to set, which event service you have to utilize, right? So these are the competencies also help you out. And obviously, making like becoming expert on these is take a years of the experience,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
But by learning the system design, you will get maturity. Then fourth layer is like, okay, if you are proficient in any programming language, let's say you are mature in Python or you are mature in Node.js. Because I see that these languages getting matured and like AI agent frameworks are coming widely in this. And integration of these technologies is very speedy, lightweight, and faster. So that's why I recommend specifically if you want to just go for this, you should be mature enough to deal with this. Python is my go-to language, and I personally, as a AI engineer, prefer Python. But yeah, Node.js works well on this domain as well. Then also at the one level, you also have to learn the architect patterns, right? Architect pattern
Yeah.
is like, okay, have any mod, let's say have any product will design, right? Let's say you start working on the product around the product. Okay, so first of all, you have to understand how end-to-end product is was designed, which architecture this product is following. Thereafter, also you have to understand like, okay, after understanding whole cycle, you can understand that like, okay, where data is coming from, where it is going, and which kind of the response is coming from which module or which API services and everything, right? So these are very mature things that when you are coming to this role. But yeah, every stage contains a different level of expertise. Okay, and soon I will design one article on this, which is really I found industry needs. So I will design on this as well. Also, these are the things. But yeah, main layer is AI competencies, right? As a AI competencies, you have to know the like core AI. I'm recommending still again the same courses. Andrew and G, you can go for their old courses because directly jumping into the generative AI is very easy, right? Because you can see that like, okay, this is a code base, just integrations. Integrations is very easy. But when someone asks you the question, you will not give the any answers
Mm.
until and unless you don't know about the deep knowledge of AI, right? So because AI contains the multiple branches, NLP, computer vision, we can say that generative AI is coming with a combination
Mm.
of deep learning, NLP and computer vision, which is a combined branch of generative AI, right? Then machine learning also there is other branches like graph theory, game theory, expert systems, reinforcement learning also come with multiple branches, evolutionary algorithms. There are a lot of branches of AI. We see that only there are three branches. No, there is a lot of
Mm.
branches of AI, but active learning, there are a lot of branches. We see that ever, right? But yeah, you have to focus on core branches and also you have to maintain the core knowledge of these sub branches. Not all the knowledge, core knowledge is enough. So you can, whenever the like a requirement is come, you can apply that knowledge. And this knowledge is for applicability, right? Whatever you have to apply. Then and then you become a more robust engineers by the time. Applicability is must for anything, right? So as a AI engineer, you have as a technical, you have to know the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn I am recommending. Then also state models, which is for the time series models. Also, I recommending the scikit-learn. Also recommending TensorFlow, PyTorch. These knowledge is a must, which I am telling into the competencies. Is like this knowledge is must. TensorFlow, PyTorch. Then Hugging Face model, how you can fine tune any LLM model is a must. Also, let's say you want to fine tune any like a LLM model. I have a one repo which is LLM fine tuning. Also, I have developed another repo which is 500 AI agent project, which is help you to understand that like, okay, which framework you can utilize and which kind of use case you have to design for yourself. So there are a lot of even except my repos, there are other repos as well which help you to understand like, okay, which core technology is needed, which MCP server I have to decide. Right, even you can design your custom MCP server. So designing at the custom level is more important. Sometimes there is a need of you have to design your own MCP servers. So also you have to learn that. Okay. Or let's say you have a team of engineer of the min stack that is also help you out to design MCP servers, right? Because there is a wide support available in the Node.js and others as well. Or you can directly utilize any company's MCP servers. Let's say you have a MC, you have whole project in a Azure cloud. You can use Azure cloud MCP server technology or AWS, whatever it is. Okay, so yeah, this is a competencies required, and yeah, cloud competencies is also must. You have, let's say you deal with AWS, you have to know the everything about AWS. When you want to design AWS based architect system, you have to follow the AWS pattern as well, a design pattern, architecture design pattern. Also for same for Azure and GCP as well, right? Every cloud has their own way of designing, right? So you have to follow their standards.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sounds a
this
lot.
is and
Yeah.
yeah, and also LLM ops is also the part of this. Huh?
Mm.
As a AI engineer, you also have to work with ML ops as well and LLMs because without this, you are, I can say, you are ambiguous AI engineer.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we have three questions from our audience. Let's take them one by one. I think the first one you already answered. Uh, it's from Narish. He is saying, can anyone turn to generative AI architect without knowing traditional AI? I think the answer is no. You should know traditional AI, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I think you already answered
exactly.
this. Yeah. Yeah, second one, he's saying Oracle has introduced its own AI tools. Uh, is it limited to Oracle products such as Oracle Fusion slash ERP, or will it be useful same as other AI tool in the market?
As a Oracle employee, I can't reveal any information of Oracle because this is a conflict of interest of mine with Oracle.
Yeah.
But in a generalized way, I can say that like there is a Oracle GenAI technology is not for public use. It is for the enterprise companies only. So whoever the customer of Oracle, they can only utilize.
Mm,
But yeah, any company who want to utilize Oracle cloud and they can reach out the Oracle team,
mm.
their client engineering team, they will help you out for more on this.
Ah, okay, thank you. And we have another question from Ashraf. He's saying, could you suggest I must do courses for the same for gaining AI fundamentals?
Hmm.
I think he is
So
yeah, you can go.
I have an answer on this is like the same. Don't directly dive with GenAI. I will sequence the AI courses over here. First course you have to do machine learning designed by Andrew Ng. Okay. Second, you have to do the course is deep learning designed by Andrew Ng. Okay. Third course is a time series course that is also designed by Andrew Ng. You can found on Coursera. Fourth course is a NLP specialization, which is also designed by Andrew Ng. Because when you are learning AI, you have to focus on the same language, right? And Andrew Ng is one of the AI researcher. Okay. If you learn research language in AI, your foundation become very strong. And I see that by doing and learning from Andrew Ng, I am only certified from the course around me. And I follow since long, not I started courses in 2011, 12, right? But I follow only Andrew Ng. I am not certified any from any other thing, right? Yeah, for hands-on experience, you can take other, but yeah, for learning the foundation, Andrew Ng is one of the greatest expert I found on internet. Okay, even you can take a Stanford courses as well, which is openly available and people is sharing lot of links on internet as well, right? Even like I can see like Yosin is also sharing it, right? So I recommend you have to follow that. But yeah, for fundamental learning, I follow that. Also, once you learn these all, I will recommend deep learning AI short courses. First, go through there at all courses and then you can see all the branches you already know. Because I feel that as a ex AI engineer, like I only follow the one standard because when I just moving from one expert to another expert, their analogy will be different. Their way of tech explanation is also different. Also, like ML Ops course designed by Google collaboration with Andrew Ng Coursera is very nice. You can go with all their courses only. I recommend. Don't go for any other courses because this is these cover the international standards. Okay, like I found that like some companies has their own Hugging Face courses also is very good for when you want to directly dive into the agentic AI, or you want to dive into the Genie. Also, not only courses will help you to understand every day, you also have to read the articles from toward data science. You have to read the articles from the analytics vidya, which is their articles is very good. Also, you have to read the books. Packet books are very nice. I am always reviewing packet books. Also, there are other books as well. This year, I also review the book from the Manning publication, right, which is a generative AI time series. And I gone through, and this book was so awesomely written. Okay, you can also go and buy the book, because book was written by some expert with their real experiences, which is not said on the blogs. Okay, in blogs, everyone is not revealing anything. Okay, if you want a premium and very nice content with a structured manner, with the core practices, you have to follow the books. And books is only the best medium to read and do hands-on practice, because nowadays books also come with a GitHub, right? They are also sharing their codes on GitHub as well, right? So it is highly recommended by me that you should go for the book reading as well, like wherever you get interest, because there are some nice books also designed on architect is like machine learning system design by Chief Yuan. Then there are other machine learning system design books as well. So if you want to be an architect, just read that books as well, right? Machine learning system design. So once you learn that, you will deep dive into the associate roles. You can deep dive into the role of intermediate engineers if you have experience of the machine learning and software technology. So there are book will help you to understand, right? So book have more knowledge of like these system design more than internet have, which I feel and I learn from the books as well. You can also read the book of AWS data science, and AWS on data science. There are a lot of even Azure data science books. So inside that you can understand, okay, this service is used for this. So you can, whenever you can design this service, pop up into your mind. Okay, I read that, and how to design data architect, how to design the AWS AI modules, which service you have to integrate. Let's say SageMaker service you have to integrate, or any analytics service you require for before designing any AI module. There are a lot of questions come into when you are just designing, and designing take a lot of time. This is not a one day task.
Yeah.
Designing take a lot of time.
Yeah. Ashraf is asking about the name of the book you mentioned. I think he's asking about is it Generative AI for time series, right?
Yeah, can I share my link? Share my screen.
Yeah, you can. Let me make sure. I think
Oh,
you
okay,
can. Now you can, yeah.
just a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, my screen. Just a minute. Okay, are you able to see my screen
Not yet.
now?
Yeah, now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so here you can see that first book is coming, designing machine learning system book, right? This is by Chief Yuan, right? But you can see that this book is one of the foundation, right? I am recommending this, and even you can purchase the O'Reilly subscription as well. O'Reilly is also providing all the books, right? I have that because I am very big fan of books. I always prefer to read books compared to reading. Okay, you can also see that there is a Manning publication, machine learning systems. Okay, you can also read it. You can see that design the scalable machine learning systems. Okay, so same fundamentals of machine learning you can apply into the generative AI as well. Okay, third book is, you can see that same, right? Designing machine learning system. This is also one of the book. Okay, you can see that. This is an interview preparation by Byte Group. This is also one of the nice book, and even generative AI system design book designed by the these Byte Go have, right. You can also purchase that as well. Also, third book I recommend this one. This is also one of the highly recommended book by me, and this book is basically designed by the David Ping. which is also he is one of the expert in this domain. So yeah, this is a specially designed for the architect, solution architect. You can see the title from the machine learning solution architect handbook. So these books are helping you to become a generative AI architect as well. There are other books as well. You can see that system design, also solution architect handbook. This is also the recommended book. If you want to become AI engineer, I will also recommending to go for this. So just a minute, let me open this one. Yeah. I am also recommending this book, Solution Architect's Handbook. And also some of the books is related to AWS. When you type over here, AWS. Right, you can see that system design on AWS. Right, sometime you can find that like machine learning on AWS. These are also including, you can see that mastering machine learning. These books also help you to understand like how to design the AI books. Sorry, how to learn from that architectural knowledge from that books. Okay, so yeah, these are the some recommendation, right? And also like this big company have their own way of design. So also you can start it. You can see that AWS their own way of designing. Let's architecting machine learning. These are also the some of the internet platforms, right? Let's say AWS their own platform, how they are designing the system, something like that, right? So architectural knowledge need a lot of reading and also a lot of exploration with the latest technology, with latest practices, best practices, right? So best practices I always recommend to just go for the best cloud architecture which is published on their blogs. Okay, based AWS cloud, let's say you want to design AWS architect for your system. Just read the blogs from AWS, how it was designed. Let's say you want to design Azure base, you can follow the Azure blogs for their machine learning system. This is on that because you can't design by without taking the reference. Okay. You and by the time you will get a mature, okay, and you can design your mature architect. Okay, so this is some recommendation from me. Thank you.
Yeah, great. We have another question also from Son. He or she is saying, do I have to combine system design in POC demonstration or design system after a POC or MVP phase?
No. So first of all, whatever company is designing, right? Every company expect first you have to design a POC, proof of concept.
Mm,
Proof of concept is basically the way to see that, like, okay, how much this technology is mature enough to solve any business problems. Okay. So initially, when company expect we are designing POC, but for designing the POC also you have to design a small architecture. In that architecture also you can check the capabilities of the whatever the system modules you are using or whatever the system component you are using. Okay, so whenever you are just designing architect first and then you develop the anything, you can also showcase the capability of your architecture design as well as your technical expertise of your system, right? So that way POC need to design. So in POC, most of company what they are doing is they are just doing the programming, showcase, create the demo, and they showcasing. This is not the standard practices. First of all, you have to design the system blueprint of that, and then you have to start developing because in between, let's say any latency or any technical challenge is coming, you can figure out with seeing the blueprint, not by seeing the technology. What you have developed in the let's say by error, you can't define where is the problem. Okay, you have to deep dive into the any so let's say there is any latency issue come into the your vector db when you are just designing any POC, right? So vector db latency is not to tell you okay there is a problem. Okay, but now what you can do, you can explore the documentation of that particular module that come into that system design. You have to replace the vector db or whatever there is a other like solutions of that vector db. Let's say you deploy with a docker, or let's say you are just deploy with some other explore other kind of the deployment strategies, right? How it works well, how you can reduce the latency, these kind of real world challenges coming. So by replacing the module or by applying some asynchronous programming or some strategies, to improve this latency solutions. Or let's say there is a different algorithms you can apply by dealing with RAG. So let's say there is a for retrieval you are using BM25, but let's say the other method is there, you can also rank there on, then after come into, so your answer accuracy will be also improved, latency is also reduced. There are a lot of strategy you can apply around it. So yeah, system design, and then after, let's say your POC works well. So then after you can expand that system design. Is this on the need? Then after it's that way it's convert into the MVP phase. Right. So MVP, you can apply the same strategy because in MVP, other modules are also come. You have to connect the other integrations with your enterprise product design, right? So these way you have to design this system.
Mm, Thank you. We
I
have,
hope I answered.
yeah, I think you have answered. Yeah. Yeah, we have one last question from Dibesh Kumar. He's saying, can you please comment on the implementation of knowledge graph? In which maturity phase does it comes from enterprise grade deployment? And he's saying apart from that, what is your normal working day looks like?
Okay. So when we are talking about knowledge graph is one of the oldest, we can say oldest concept of natural language processing, and also the graph theory. Okay,
Mm,
so knowledge graph is coming. So I will give you the basic example. Is like I am Ashish. Okay, so between I and Ashish there is a M, which is create the relation, right? So I and Ashish become the node. Or let's say Ashish have a laptop. So laptop is one become one of the node and has create the relationship, right? So this way it's create the node and edges based graph. That's why how we call it a knowledge graph. Okay, so knowledge graph is basically the fundamental concept of creating the any text to graph. Okay, but yeah, when graph become big, it become very complex. Okay, so extract the, yeah, knowledge graph is very good when you use as a vector database because relationship is already built. So context, we can say that context is already built inside this. Okay, so for knowledge graph is famous for the contextual relationship, right? Which is we sometimes we are missing into the vector database as well. Vector databases come basis on the cosine similarities or KNN based methods, right? But when we are talking about knowledge graph is already pre-built knowledge with a lot of relationship. So it is reduce the pre-processing. But yeah, on practical aspect, creating the knowledge graph is one of the challenging tasks. So most of the people facing the challenge when you are just creating from the raw data to knowledge graph, and then after you want to utilize that knowledge graph as your vector search engine or anything, right? This is a big challenge, and also in past we also faced a lot of challenges. But yeah, research is going on. I will tell you one thing. Knowledge graph is a scalable solution, obviously. If you have a limited data or if you have, let's say, scalable. But yeah, it also costs you a lot. It's not very easy. So for that, you have to use a graph database. Also, knowledge graph has their own language, like Neo4j has their own way to deal with. Right, even you have so Neo4j is one of the good platform. There are other platform as well, but Neo4j is one of the mature platform which I see. And if you want to design the knowledge graph nowadays, even you can also use like LLM technology, which is design knowledge graph faster. But yeah, here you have to add a human in loop layer. So whatever the knowledge graph was designed by AI system, you have to monitor that. Like, okay, this is really make a relationship, or this is like creating an extra space in knowledge graph because which is not needed, and also create unnecessary memory. Okay, so these layer need to be added because knowledge graph and implementing this knowledge graph is a bit challenging because every industry contains a different type of context. Okay, so knowledge graph build a context, but which kind of context, like business aspect, and which kind of context you are trying to build. So for that, we need a one layer where, like, let's say you have designed the system, you put that one document, it creates the knowledge graph, but you have to review that knowledge graph and you have to remove the unnecessary nodes. So you can see that like a knowledge graph data engineer. We can coin these new word in the industries like knowledge graph data engineer. You need, or let's say you need a you need a subject matter expert who can decide, okay, then which is the knowledge relationship was created in the knowledge graph. Is it exactly needed or not? Or we can remove that. Okay, so this is something make a more robust, more accurate knowledge graph, and also scalability is obviously it's a challenging knowledge graph. Scalability is very challenging, but I will say that like if you want to create the knowledge graph, always go for the proven database or proven technology. So it will like your GTM will be become faster. Right, your go-to-market strategy will be faster if you are dealing with a knowledge graph and you can go directly with the Neo4j kind of database and all that. So yeah, this is my answer. And from implementation perspective, I will recommend you can utilize Python or any because like these knowledge graph companies also Neo4j has their own Python framework and all. So yeah, these are the very mature frameworks you can utilize, and also you can utilize generative AI technology as well. We can see that like you can put the text, raw text to the LLM and it is generate the knowledge graph for you. But yeah, then after you have to add the inspection layer. Like okay, as a AI is only find that like okay, this is a very useful knowledge graph pattern, ages and relationship. But yeah, which is not AI can discard. So you have to design two AI models. One AI one LLM model which can design knowledge graph for you, and second LLM model inspect that like okay, which pattern is needed and which is not from the knowledge graph. Yeah, this is the answer for this.
Yeah, and there was a second part for the question is how's your normal day, your normal working day looks like, and I think we can conclude by this.
Yeah. So my normal working days, as always, like deal with a lot of business problems.
Mm.
And then basis on the business problem, I have to think about like okay, from this kind of business problem, which kind of the like a scalable architecture I have to design. So, but for architecture perspective, first of all, I have to understand whole design system of the client. First of all, to focus on the industry, which domain this problem is, then also the data, then also we have to understand the compliance and regulations of that domain. So let's say healthcare, so also we have to also understand the regulations, compliance and regulations of healthcare. Then we also have to understand their systems, okay, how their systems work and which kind of the AI system they thought, and from that which kind of feature they want to design. Okay. Okay, so basis on that, so let's say these will also help us to understand that like okay, how we have to frame the business problem, and basis on that framework, how we can design the system, like where to take a input, where to take the different data, and which kind of the model. This is like a single model problem or multi-model problem. Single, and we called it like a multi-model Gen AI is a problem, or single model Gen AI problem. That also we have to follow the pattern, right? So these design pattern help us to understand that like okay, this architecture need multiple things. Then after also I have to deal with the product managers. Product manager deal is basically like they can I have to help them to understand like okay, what outputs will be look like, what inputs will be look like. I have to do the thoroughly testing as well. If they are asking some question regarding the features or some kind of the product knowledge regarding to AI, I have to help them. There are a lot of day-to-day tasks regarding the product manager because mostly architecture is widely responsible to design any AI product. So that is also one of the day-to-day tasks. Also help the data scientist and data engineer to design the system like which framework you are choosing. So we have to check the capabilities of particular framework, whatever the problem they are facing. I have to help them to resolve that as an expert, because Genia architecture is someone who is expert in the whole AI development as well. Then you become directly architect. Okay, so associate architect, you can learn a lot of things, but yeah, as a AI, when you become expert, you also have a hands-on knowledge to deal with. So as I have a hands-on knowledge of most of all the domain of AI related problems, where I find to the LLM model as well, I design the AI agent as well, I design the RAG-based system as well. So there are a lot of even I designed the computer vision system. So I started one series on the LinkedIn, which is 500 AI 500 computer vision learning, which is very popular on LinkedIn as well. So I am also deal with the computer vision technology since long, around around 8 years. And yeah, so this kind of also I need to read every day, like okay, something new is coming, let's say, that can solve our current so let's say there is a two framework. Okay, let's say we have a small agent framework and there is a crew AI. We can just check the system performance, response time. There is a lot of the parameter you have to tune and you have to check, and how it works on the real world situation or something. Every time just deploying the high performance like high performance CPUs or GPUs is not solution. Sometimes you have to optimize the like your code in the way that like it is works well, right? And also follow all the design patterns and not breach any kind of security threads in the code. That also you have to keep in mind. Code security also you have to review. Sometime as a architect you also have to review the AI code as well. This was written nicely or there is a something lacking in this AI code as well. So yeah, this is like a one man army work. You have to work as an army person, which is deal with a lot of things around, right? So yeah, this is a day to day task I am dealing with.
Yeah, yeah, great to hear
Yeah,
that.
meeting
Of
is
course, yeah, one of
always
the
constant.
yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, thank you for so much, Aziz. It was really very insightful, and thanks for your time and the knowledge you shared with us,
Thank you.
and thanks for our audience to attend, and we are looking forward to have you in more and more future sessions. And yeah,
Okay.
see you, and have a nice day,
Thank
all of
you.
you.
See you. Yeah. Is
Bye.
this coming on YouTube?
Yeah, yeah, I will send you the link when I upload it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.